Ayy, badass black girls, and they making big moves. Ayy, badass black girls, nothing that you can't do. They are the future, I'm trying to tell ya. They want the best, no time to settle. They got the strength to handle the pressure. These are the queens, nobody better. Yeah, changing the narrative, that is imperative. They about to rock this. Tell the women that you got this. Got no time for people who are toxic. It's all love, good vibes. You know I got your back, girl. Talking issues that matter. This is badass black girl, yeah.
Everyone, welcome to a new episode of Badass Black Girl. As usual, we have a wonderful guest with us today. Simone Kelly is here to talk to us about the wonderful work that she does. Hi, Simone.
Hello, MJ. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. This is so exciting. Would you let people know who you are, Simone?
Sure. My name is Simone Kelly. I am a business coach, a life coach, an intuitive, and an author. And I'm originally from the Bronx by way of Jamaican parents, and now I live in Atlanta.
So many things. I don't know where to
I
start.
can go on.
Let's start with you as a coach.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit how you came to figure out that this is what I want to do. I want to help other people. I want to coach them so that they can live a fulfilling life, not just a business life, but a personal life. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, I actually went to school for marketing and business. And as I was in college, I would help out my friends that had their small businesses. Back then, it was a lot of like friends that had hip hop record labels or magazines. And, I worked in the music industry as well. As an intern, I worked for BMG Entertainment, which is now Sony. So back then I soaked up so much information and learned a lot about marketing. And it was really a fun experience because when I grew up, I was about like 19 to like 23 or 24. I worked at BMG. So I was literally there with Tony Braxton, Wu-Tang, SWV, all these people were walking by my desk. So I was able to soak up a lot of information and learn. And I had great mentors, which is hard to find, women mentors. And so from there, I noticed that was my talent, where I was helping my friends with their businesses. And I started my first official business, which back in the day was called Got to Have a Marketing. So back then I was doing strictly marketing coaching, business coaching. But however, most of my clients were women, and most of them could not get their basic life together in order to do the business. So I didn't realize I was doing life coaching. Life coaching wasn't a thing yet. But I didn't realize I was helping them organize their schedule, helping them prioritize, helping them really see what their dreams are, helping them find out what their calling is. So that technically is a lot of life coaching, you know what I mean? And then eventually I got certified as a certified life coach. And that's how I got started with that.
This is so wonderful. And I know for sure that you must have many skills in terms of time management and just knowing where you're going, because you also manage to write books. You have so many books out. Let's talk a little bit about your journey as a writer. So
Sure.
how did that start?
Well, I started writing. I've always been a creative, child. When I was little, I used to always like come up with stories. I was a storyteller. And my first stories were actually on tape recorders, believe it or not. So me and my friends would make up these stories, and I would be like the producer and be in charge of the show. And like, okay, you're gonna do that. You're gonna play that girl, and we're gonna record this. And these are sound effects. Like I had no idea back then I was a producer, but that's technically what my skill set was. And then in third grade, my very first book was a coloring book, but it was like a short story because I used to know how to draw really well. My father was an architect, so he taught me how to draw really good, and so that was my first entrepreneurial experience too, because I sold the book. My mother made copies of it, and I remember making like $1.10 one day in the back of the class, like, come on, give me your dimes, everybody.
This is so great.
I was a hustler back in third grade. But that's how I got started with just liking to write, just be a storyteller, so to speak. My first official book was called At Second Glance. Actually, it's kind of backwards. My first fiction book, I should say, was At Second Glance. I didn't publish it first, but I did. First, it was like maybe 28 pages. And I just made it for my friends. And all my friends were like, oh my God, where's the rest? We need more. So then from there, I figured, okay, I must have a skill because everybody wants more. So I started to take classes and network and meet other writers. And that's a big thing that a lot of people need to know that they need to do. You have to network, you have to get training, and that way you can realize, you know, where your skill set really lies, and you can get, you know, expert advice, because your friends are gonna say, oh, it's good, but your friends are not gonna be able to critique your work like a writer would, you know. My other book really was my first book. I said it kind of backwards. This book was called Jack of All Trades, Master of None. And it's not to, you know, glamorize it, because a lot of people brag about being a jack of all trades, master of none. The book is really trying to help you stop being a jack, whether you have lots of talents, but you can put them all together and make them make sense, you know? So that's kind of what I've done with all of my different crazy talents that I have. I've meshed it all together in one business. So this was my first book. In 2005, I published, and it was targeting business owners. And it had personal growth in it as well, like a lot of life coaching stuff in there as well. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Keep going. I forgot. I do have two other books. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Absolutely.
So this book, I want to just clarify. This book, At Second Glance, is more of like a sisterhood book. Has 3 characters, and it has a lot of, you know, juicy, steamy scenes, but it also has fun, comedy. You know, you're dealing with relationships. It's At Second Glance, makes you think again about love at first sight. So you know how a lot of us rush into relationships sometimes?
Yes.
This will make you take a second look.
Is that fiction?
Yeah, everything else has been fiction since after after Jack of All Trades. All my other books have been fiction.
Okay.
So yeah, fiction. Then my next book was Like a Fly on the Wall. This came out 3 years ago, 2017. And I got it published. This is my first published book. I mean, I should say published traditionally, because the other book was self-published. So I got my first book deal with HarperCollins, and this is my baby because it really put me on the map. You know, for me to see my book in airports and supermarkets, I mean, it was the best feeling ever. You know,
that's amazing.
And the main character is Jacques Variety, who is an intuitive. He is a sexy Moroccan guy, and all the women love him. And he actually ends up working with another female. Her name is Kylie Collins, and she works with a detective agency. So they start working together on different projects and solving mysteries, but also they have a lot of family secrets, and they're uncovering things. There's a lot of scandals going on in the book. Of course, juicy sex as well. Look, I learned that in marketing. Sex sells. So I always got good sex in my books. But this was a pretty long book. I self-published it first. Yeah, I self-published it first, and it was like half the size. And then I got the book deal, and then they wanted me to make it a double size book. So
okay.
And this was an Amazon bestseller. It did pretty well. I was really happy about it.
So let me stop you here. So you mentioned the character as an intuitive, but you also mentioned that you are one as well. Let's talk about that. I feel that this needs a lot of unpacking.
You can't just breeze over that.
I know. So tell me, what's an intuitive?
And then everybody is. We all have it. We're all intuitive. We're all psychic. Same thing. A lot of people hate the word psychic. They freak out. Oh my God, spooky. But we all have the gift. And that's why I actually love to teach it. Basically, it's having the innate sense, that sixth sense that we have, where we feel things, whether we see it, we hear it, or a combination. You might feel it in your body. 9 times out of 10, we always get messages, but we ignore them. So it's a gift that you need to practice, whether it's meditation, just doing different things to hone in on that skill to get better at it. So with me, I've actually developed it more so in my late 20s. I'm 47 now. So then I started taking classes and training, and I started to practice on my friends. And then from there, my friends started to turn into addicts, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna start charging you guys. I'll give you the friends and family special, but this was getting ridiculous. So I got really good, and I was able to weave it into my coaching practice. So that's why I call myself an intuitive life coach, because I don't just give you life coaching. I'm going to give you a reading, quote unquote, but then I'm going to give you homework. You need to read this book. You need to do this meditation, whatever it is that's related to your life. You don't just walk away with just, basic advice. You walk away with some things to do to improve yourself. Yeah. So
tell us about that moment when you realized that this talent was maybe more developed in you as opposed to someone else.
I started to focus on meditation. This is when I was working at HBO, and I had a very stressful job. I was a director for a department, and it was pretty stressful. And so I took up meditation. I started to, like, listen to all these meditation music. My office was literally like the Zen den. Like, my office had, like, candles, flowers, floor pillows. Everybody would come in my office when they want to decompress. So I already started to become like this Zen person, really working on myself. But when I started meditating more, my dreams became very prophetic. And to the point of, it would freak me out a little bit. I was like, how did I know that? So and then one of my dreams, it's a long story, I'll give you a short version. One of my dreams, my cousin, I told her about it, and she played the numbers that were in the dream, because it was like numbers kept repeating. She won $10,000.
Oh, wow.
So I said,
oh, wow.
Take a class. I think I'm gonna hone in on this skill a little bit better. So the little things like that just started happening. I mean, that's a big thing, but and then that's when I knew I had to do something with it. But my biggest, I think, gift, or my biggest calling in life, I really believe, is teaching it. Because I've been teaching classes called Discover Your Intuition since 2011. And since then, I've had so many students that never knew they were intuitive, that were like blown away, like literally in 20 minutes. I teach a free class as well, so you might as well take it one day. But it literally, in 15 minutes, 20 minutes, you'll be like, how did I know how to do that? Or how did I understand that? Because the games that I give you guys, I make it fun, you know what I mean? And I encourage you, and I'm really good at hyping you up. So once you have that encouragement, you take chances in guessing and in getting it right. So then once you know that you have this skill, it changes your life forever.
Wonderful. So you mentioned meditation, and I was thinking, I recently bought a new set of tarot cards because I just love cards, and some of them are so beautiful. So I love the art, and I love just playing around with those cards. Is there a connection between being able to be a good tarot reader and being an intuitive, for instance, or it's like talking about apple and tomato?
There could be a combination. Me personally, I never really got like into tarot cards. I had tarot cards, and I played around with them, but I never really was. I always had to look up the answer. I never just felt, oh, I can look at this. Oh, this is 8 of Cups. This means blah blah blah. I never was that person. I would have to look it up. Oh, it's on page 52. Let me look it up. But I mean, in college, I used to play with them and stuff. And I would be right, but I think that's just a tool. Like, you don't need it. You don't need tarot cards. Like, I don't use any tools. I just meditate. Literally, for me, I write down. I kind of call it. It's kind of like automatic writing, but not really. So I write the person's name down, and I get a download. Like, I literally get first name, last name, age, and city, and then I'll get a whole bunch of stuff about the person. I'll feel it in my body too, like what's blocked on them, chakra wise. I'll say, okay, heart chakra, those chakras blocked. This person needs to work on blah blah blah. Then we get on the phone, and I tell them what I got, and they're like, oh, how'd you know that? And then we go into questions, working on whatever it is, whether it's relationships or business, career, that kind of stuff. But yeah, you don't need tarot cards. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
This is so awesome. I might give you a call. I might need your services.
Yeah, you'll love it. It's fun.
Well, with a new year, after 2020 being so stressful and sad, and all the adjectives that you want to put, that's just filling the blank. I'm really looking forward to 2021 being more productive and just being more aware, I guess, of my place, I guess, in the universe. And I know that many other people are in the same situation, and it's so great that we can turn to someone like you for some guidance.
Thank you. Wonderful. Yeah, January is a busy month for me.
I can imagine. Yeah. You talked a little bit about automatic writing in that context. Let's go back about your writing career. So you have fabulous books out, some of them that you self-published, some of them that were published traditionally, and you encountered such great success. You write fiction, you write nonfiction. I'm really interested in knowing your process. So when you know that, okay, it's time to write this story, it's been maybe hunting you for a little while, or whatever your process is, where do you go from conception to writing? How does that happen, and how does it happen?
Usually I get like an idea or something. It might be a story I heard or just hearing people, people watching. I always tell people as writers that we're watching you all the time. Like taking notes. So it might be an idea that I get, and then from there I'll start researching based on whatever the idea is, and then I'll write an outline. So I'll say, oh, these are the things I want to write. These are the things I want to write in the book. And I learned from my first book not to just write, just write free and take it wherever. You'll be writing forever and your book will be all over the place. So I learned from having writing coaches. See, every coach needs a coach. Writing coaches will tell you have an outline. Most of them will tell you to have an outline. And then from there, you can flesh out each chapter. You want to have a schedule. It would be nice. It's not always realistic, but you want to try to say, okay, maybe I'm gonna write a scene a day, or I'll write a certain amount of number of words per day. Me personally, I like to write in a notebook first. I'm old school. So for me, that goes back to like channeling, like it just flows when I write with my hand, just like comes out of me versus just typing it on the computer. Then I go, after I write, let's say I write a chapter in my notebook, and then I'll transfer to the computer. And then I'll finish all of that, and then I'll go back and edit it. And you have to edit a lot. Yeah. You've written books too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm the author of the Badass Black Girl series, actually.
Yes. Okay.
I really like what you're saying. The fact that schedules work for some people.
Yeah.
For others, and I know that it's so hard to keep a schedule for myself. I mean, I try my best, but sometimes you just have to find whatever time you can get your hands on.
Right. Having a writing buddy is really going to help you. My book, Lack of Fire, a lot of people think, oh, Simone, this is amazing writing all day. This book took me like 10 years to write. A lot of people don't know that. I had the idea in 2004, and then I put it down. I wrote like maybe a chapter or two, put it down, and then I picked it back up again, and I got a writing coach. And then every week we would meet, and she would, help me clean it up and tell me, okay, because my main character's name is Jacques, right? He's French and Moroccan. So when she read it, she was like, he sounds a little feminine. You need to clean that up a little, because I was trying to give myself a challenge to write like a man.
Right.
So having a writing coach helped me tremendously. Having somebody that holding me accountable every week, knowing I had to have something in. Right now, I'm writing. One of my girlfriends, shout out to Khadija Kareem. She's actually writing her memoir, and I am editing it every week. And then she's reading my next book, 1544, which is going to be a movie. We're filming. Another story, but she's editing that every week. So that helps me stay on track. Knowing we have a meeting every Sunday night. We gotta hand in my stuff. So that's what I tell people all the time. You can't do this alone. You have to have a group, a team or something, somebody to help you.
That's wonderful. I love the idea of a buddy. A lot of people have like writing circles, but I feel that when you find someone who's kind of at the same level that you are, who understands writing, who understands editing, and there is this exchange. You read my book and I read your book. I think it's wonderful. I'm sure the process is way faster than going to weekly meetings with a larger group.
Exactly. Having to read everybody's scenes. Yeah, it's much easier. And I actually started a writing group on Facebook called the Writers Lab, where I try to match people up with each other. Because I'll say, hey, or we'll say, hey, you want us to critique your work? Upload a chapter and we'll all critique it. That way it's some, you have, your like-minded group. You want to be in a group of people that are doing the same thing that you're doing. Because your cousin and your sister and your mother are going to tell you it's amazing. Then they don't know. They're not going to be able to critique dialogue or format, or you know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. And so you've written fiction and nonfiction. Do you have a preference, or do you?
Fiction.
Fiction.
Yeah, because I mean, this is the thing. A lot of people, they'll read my books trying to find the facts. Like, is that real? Did that really happen to her? Did she do that? My aunt swears everything in the book I did. She swears like I'm having sex every day with. I'm like, there's sex scenes in my book, but it doesn't mean I'm doing everything in the book. I have a good imagination. She's like, sure you do. So yeah, I have a lot of people that just they think they know me from reading my book. However, the cool part about what I do as an intuitive, I get a lot of stories. I hear a lot, but I can't talk about it. I can't tell y'all business, but I can change your name and put you with two different characters. And so I tell people all the time, they tell you write what you know. So this I know. This is my latest book too. I forgot to mention. Sorry, Whispers from the Past.
Let's
This
talk about this one. What is
yeah,
it about?
Whispers from the Past. It just came out November 24th, and it's already in Walmart, Target, Barnes and
Wow.
Noble. It's an Amazon bestseller already, so I'm really, really proud of it. And this actually is a continuation of Like a Fly on the Wall. However, you can still read it as a standalone book. Like I
Mhm.
had to write it, so that even if you never read Like a Fly on the Wall, you won't be lost. Basically, it's about Jacques again, the main character, who is a psychic, and now he's working closely with Like a Fly on the Wall detective agency. And there's a new character introduced named Mackenzie who has a double life and a lot of secrets. So her story kind of unravels and connects everybody together. What I like about this book is that it uncovers the whole concept of reincarnation. So Whispers from the Past talks a lot about um, karma, past lives, and Jacques is now eating a little bit more healthier. This is also real. He's vegan now, so because he's eating healthier, his skills have enhanced. So now he'll look at you or he'll touch you, and he'll see a past life in front of you, like almost like a hologram. So so that's gonna be it's something he's dealing with because he's not used to it. He's just like, whoa, what's going on? So it's kind of cool because people that don't know anything about intuition or know anything about past lives, they get drawn into it and they realize it's nothing as spooky as we think. But
Uh-huh.
that's why I love writing about supernatural things because people it helps demystify the concept of being psychic.
Is is it something that is real, like past lives and stuff like
Yes,
that? Okay.
yes.
Well,
It's very real.
let's talk a
Believe
little
it
bit
either.
about
Look,
that.
I was the biggest skeptic of half of the stuff that I do now. People always never believe me, but I didn't believe half of the stuff. But when I learned it and I started doing classes and practicing and having other classmates see stuff that I saw that I didn't tell them, like you could test people out. Like, did you see what I saw? What'd you see? And it blew me away. So I know past lives exist. Is I don't know everything about it, but I definitely know it's a real thing. There's amazing stories on YouTube you can look up too.
How is the experience of seeing it? Is it like a just a thought? Do you see an actual scene? How does it happen?
It's like for me, the way I do it, somebody will say, "Hey, I have a fear of falling. Can you find out what past life that was that I had that fear?" And then I'll start meditating deeply, and then I'll either see, I usually see myself as the person first. I might even see my skin change. I might not see my face, but I'll feel like I'm the person. And then I'll see where I am. So I'll start asking, where am I? And they'll say, oh, you're South America. Okay, what year is it? And then I'll get the year. Like I'll get like little bits and pieces. You don't get everything right away. And then you put it all together, and then you'll get like it's literally like a movie. Like I tell people all the time, I don't need cable. Because it's like shut your eyes. You're in another. You're time traveling. So it's literally like seeing yourself as the person, but you get like a whole quick story of finding out why, where you are, what happened. The cool part is the magic of Google. I tell people all the time, I'm horrible with history. I don't know jack about geography, and we will find stuff that there's no way I could have known. I have clients that maybe I always give this example of one girl. She was in a past life. I saw her as a Chinese man, and she just started crying on the phone. And I was like, hello, what's going on? She's like, Simone, I'm Dominican and everything in my house is Chinese. I love Chinese. Like she loves Chinese culture. She was obsessed with China. I didn't know that. So, that's why it's like certain things you cannot make up. Like there's no way to, you can confirm it through your clients. And when we find out where these people have these connections, I always tell people, please add that to your bucket list. Go visit China or go wherever that place is, because you might feel something when you go there. You might get a memory or something. So yeah, it's fascinating. I'm still learning about it. I just love exploring and learning more about it.
So, what is the connection between exploring past lives and
Deja vu.
dreams?
Oh,
Is there,
the dreams.
um, is there is dream interpretation part of this of being intuitive? Do you get messages through your dreams
Definitely.
as well?
That's the beginning of it. I tell people all the time, like to pay attention to your dreams because when you get psychic messages, it's very similar to interpreting a dream. So I like an example I'll say is when I get a vision about something, it's never gonna be like, oh, MJ is gonna get she's going to get a promotion. I'll see you climbing up a ladder maybe, or you floating. Like that's, it's kind of like symbolic how you would get a dream and you would translate a dream. So it's not going to be like so direct. So the more you understand your dreams, the better it is for you to and write your dreams down. I tell people all the time, have a notebook, not your phone, because by the time you open up your phone, you
You're
done forgot the
distracted.
dream.
On Facebook.
By the time you find the notepad and your dream's gone. So I always tell people, even if it looks like chicken scratch, write down whatever you can write down, and then go on Google and look it up. We have so much technology now. There's no excuse. You could look up everything. But yeah, there's definitely a connection there. I think with I don't know about the past life part, but it's possible you can dream and see something from a past life. You might not really know. Another thing that's interesting that I kind of touch on the book, but I'm not going to go too deep into because I'm going to give away the book. But how some drugs like ayahuasca or like a lot of those like Peruvian, things that they do in like shamans, they tap into another part of your brain sometimes, and you'll see another life, like a past life. You know what I mean? So it's kind of they're still studying it, but it's fascinating.
It is fascinating. Absolutely. I mean, for sure, I've always been curious about dreams. I'm always writing down my dreams and kind of,
Good.
I'm like you. I don't know what they mean because one dream is so different from another. So I'm always looking. I have books and Googling and trying to find meaning. And I'm
Right.
just fascinating by the supernatural as well. And I always say that we call it supernatural because we can't explain it,
Mm-hmm.
but I am convinced that it's actually very natural and that
Thank
there is a
you.
part of your brain that you need to be able to tap into, and that a lot of supernatural events will be eventually explained by science.
Right.
We're just not there yet.
Right. Well, a lot of stuff. I mean, that's the thing that's so interesting. There's already like loads of movies and research, that has been done. Like, look at how the government uses psychics. You know about that?
Yeah, the police departments, yes,
Remote
absolutely.
remote viewing. I actually teach remote viewing in my second level of my class, Discovery Intuition, and that's what they hire people to do spying on different countries to do remote viewing. You know what I mean? So it's not like some woo woo stuff. It's a real thing. We all have it though. That's the thing. I just feel it's sad that a lot of people are they don't know their power. So
Right. I guess there's also people are afraid because there's always this fine line between um, are you can they trust that you're really seeing things or that you're making things up, and it's all about trust. And of course I will come to someone like you because I trust you as a writer, as someone who's part of my network. But if I met someone who's just a stranger, I would question it, kind of
right.
thing. So people are reticent, and I'm so glad that you're part of the badass black girl community now. And oh, I have someone to go to and talk about
Yeah.
certain things without being judged.
But you know what too? I don't know if this is where you were going with this, but there's a lot of crooks out there too.
Right.
That are intuitive, but they manipulate you. So they'll tell you stuff that like you'll go, "Ooh, how they know that? How they know that?" Then they go, "Oh, you have a curse on you. So give me $500 and
And
I'm
I
gonna work
think
that. I'm gonna work that out. I'm gonna get that curse off of you." And I tell people to look at those people that you go to. Half the time they're living in the basement. They look unhealthy. They look miserable, but you giving them your money to make your life better. Like something ain't right. You know what I
right.
mean? Use your brain.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
I'm so happy you came today,
Oh,
Simone.
thank
I
you.
feel blessed. I feel blessed that a strong woman like you're publishing books, you're helping us tap into those wonderful universes that you create through your books. And in addition, I'm really excited about your nonfiction book because I think that we need this. Black women need this this kind of support coming from a black woman who can tell them how to perfect their business, how to move forward in their personal lives and their with their finances as well. And
Right.
I feel that you like the whole package. You talk
Oh,
about
thank you.
yeah,
Maybe I need to republish that book now. It's only an ebook right now. So now I've been thinking about doing a Own Your Power themed book. Own your power in 30 days or own your power and whatever. But yeah, and just kind of bring back some of those elements because I do love talking about personal growth and business development. So yeah. But thank you. And thanks for having the Black Badass Girl Network.
Let me
Badass Black
finish,
Girl Network. I said it wrong.
let me finish by asking you.
Okay.
I mean, it's an unfair question because I just told you all those. I just complimented you about everything. But in your own words, what makes you a badass black girl?
I think being confident and owning my power and not caring what people think. Because a lot of people, they won't follow their dreams because they always listen to what other people think, you know. And I think being confident and knowing what your calling is makes me a badass black girl.
So awesome.
And that period.
Well, Simone, I hope you will come back and
I
chat
will definitely
with
come
us
back.
a little bit more. And I will be in touch for sure. I have so many questions, personal questions. I'm not
I
asking
got
up
you.
there.
Call me. Call me now. No, that's my joke with my friends. I'm not Miss Cleo though. Thank you so much for having me.
Have a good one, Simone, and see you again soon.
Okay. Bye.